triple double. Told him check the stats. Yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball. Now I never fumble. I'm the MVP. Now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant. Need a triple double. Told him check the stats. Yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball. Now I never fumble. I'm the MVP. Now I feel like Russell. Yeah, I need it now. Told him on the lay. I've been moving, dog. Yeah, I'm on the way. I don't hear the talk. Don't care what they say. I don't got no patience. I can't ever wait. I've been trying to get it. Running up all these digits. And I've been in the gym. I've been up doing minutes. I just put in that work. Told them it's strictly business. And I see through the face. They all just burning bridges. Feel like John Morant. Need a triple double. Told him check the stats. Yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball. Now I never fumble. I'm the MVP. Now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant. Need a triple double. Told him check the stats. Yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball. Now I never fumble. I'm the MVP. Now I feel like Russell. Yeah, they don't want it, dog, like I want it, dog. Yeah, they say they want it, then they took the summer off. I've been going down the list, checking numbers off. I was checking on your numbers, told them something's off. I was at the bottom, now you know I'm climbing. Now they sending deals, they know I ain't signing. They been trying to sell it, they know I ain't buying. When they send a text, dog, I ain't replying. Feel like John Morant, need a triple double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell.
Ooh, I tell her get low, gon' rock with me. You gon' mess around now and get a shopping spree. I'm now in your possession like apostrophe. Ooh, enough with all the talking, I just told her say less and do more, do more, do more, do more. Ooh, I tell her do more, do more, do more, do more. Go ahead, set the mood right, dirty like a fool fight. You been working all day, load it up in 2 nights. Do more, do more, do more, do more. Ooh, I tell her, and she gon' work that round. I'ma mess around and drown when she drop that down. Now my phone be blowing up, I like not right now. Oh, I swear that she in next the way she work that mouth. Whoa, automatic cause she move, she be cousin static. I be straight up like an addict, might be coming at it. Now I gotta have it, had enough with all the moves, yeah, move here. Ooh, let me grab it now, I'm on 1 year. Now I'm not done yet, told her wait right here. I'll be back one set, this is just time out, this is not no way. Go and grab that friend, now you know what's next stage. You been rockin' with an all-star, baby, and I know you coming early like a frostar, baby. Packing out the seat, this ain't no hostile, baby, and they know me in the city like a mob star. I tell her get low, gon' rock with me. You gon' mess around now and get a shopping spree. I'm now in your possession like apostrophe. Oh, enough with all the talking, I just told her say less and do more, do more, do more, do more. Oh, I tell her do more, do more, do more, do more. Go ahead, set the mood right, dirty like a fool fight. You been working all day, load it up in 2 nights. Do more, do more, do more, do more. Oh, I tell her,
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, man, we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what is going on, Mafia? Anybody watching the 1 minute by chance? This thing is just pumping and dumping right now. Not really in a big way, but there's a lot of pumps and dumps. It's pretty weird. But we're going to be talking about Bitcoin today, guys. Are we going to see a dump come in here, or are we still on our way to that $59,000 to $60,000 level? We got a lot to look at today because, in my opinion, guys, I think this could go either way. There are some mixed signals popping up on the 4 hour. Not mixed signals, but it's coming a little bit less clear. So I want to cover the medium time frames with you guys, as well as take a look at some local levels that I'm watching. I have just taken a short, well, not like 2 seconds ago, but I am in a new short here. I'm going to be talking about that, kind of why I entered it and what I'm looking for to actually see that potentially play out. Now, it is pretty tightly managed on the risk there, guys. Stop loss is nice and tight in case we do make that rip up to 59K. But yeah, we're going to be covering it all on tonight's live stream. We're going to cover the key levels, cover the VPs or volume profiles, and then we'll take a look at some of those altcoins. So shout out to the CandleMafia. Smash that like button if you guys not have already. Every 100 likes we get gives you guys some chances to win some free crypto, maybe some free Frankie Candles hats. And shout out to Tony D. Do we have any Bing Bong hats? If we have some Bing Bong hats, maybe we'll drop those and give some of those away as well. 550 likes is what we're going for. As always, let's smash it. Let's see if we can do it. I think we can do it tonight. We'll give away a used, sweaty, game-worn, stream-worn Bing Bong hat if somebody wants it. But anyway, shout out to the Mafia. Let's see who we got in here. Shout out to Jenny Swanson. What is going to go on? What is going to go on? Shout out to Jenny Swanson. Said BTC more indecisive than my girlfriend right now. Shout out to Jenny. She's pumping. She's dumping. She said no. Tony D said no Bing Bong hats. Shout out to Tony D. Unfortunately, it's going to have to be the game-worn one, guys. And I'm not going to lie. Before we pull up the charts here, guys, is this hat crooked or am I tripping? It's not crooked. I thought it was crooked. But anyway, shout out to Jenny Swanson. We got Servando Estrada in the chat. What is going on? Mike Vito, Ma Paisan. What is going on, bro? We got Enzo Mining. Don't forget to show our mod some love, guys. We got Rob the Crypto Snob. Let's see. Tyler Durden, Tony D. We got Crypto Anon, Crypto Billy, D Petty Crypto, Chemistry Bro, Captain Kirk. You guys know who they are. Don't forget about Dave Digital. Drop those DDs in the chat. So with all that being said, shout out to Pennywise, our favorite evil clown in the chat, said I need me a Bing Bong hat. It just might be a little bit. I actually think I might have a brand new one in my closet that is unworn, but I can't promise that. I would have to give it out as used. I would never give you guys used hats, but we do have plenty of brand new Frankie Candles hats in all different colors, so maybe we'll give away some of those if we get the 550 likes. Shout out to Crypto Trey. Let's see. Mike Vito, we already shouted you out. Let's see. Shunzin, what is going on? And Parnov, what is going on? I keep keep like messing up my speech here, guys. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, with all that being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts and see if we can figure out what the heck this thing's going to do. I want to jump down on the 1 minute real quick and show you guys this pump and dump. Let's get into it. So, guys, we're seeing some interesting stuff pop up here. And shout out to Tony D. Tony D said he was having some crazy computer problems, which makes me think that we are probably not going to be able to finish this stream without having some kind of catastrophic failure. I did just try to super chat Tino and say what's up, and like my browser just closed. So Tony D, I said my computer wasn't giving me trouble, but apparently it is now. But anyway, shout out to anybody who just came from Tino. Shout out to Tino for Dread's Reality. But yeah, guys, coming on over here to the 1 minute. Before we jump into anything, I mean, this 1 minute is getting kind of wonked out here. I mean, I've been talking about a lot of this choppy price action, but I mean, this is just to another level here. Just these absolute rips, absolute dumps, little pump dump. It's getting pretty gross here, and to be quite honest with you, or something that's kind of funny is like all this happened after I decided to make the thumbnail pump or dump, because it looked like we got both. But yeah, anyway, jumping in here, guys. Now, obviously, I'll jump down here on the higher time frames. As you guys know, before we got this pump to the upside, we were looking at that 90-minute money flow crossover to kind of start that move here. And I will be honest, we got that move up, and let me turn off this main range and pull up that current kind of more local level, more like day trade level range here. Now, obviously, we did get the move up here from that 90-minute money flow crossover. And, as we are kind of bing-bonging around here, if we can hold, we were saying if we could hold that value area low, very likely we would get some kind of move to the upside, and then potentially targeting that POC of the range, right? And this is obviously going to be the next major target on price. If we get the continuation up, I will be looking for price to get a move into that $59,000 level. However, there are some things now on some of the medium time frames. Obviously, the 4-hour time frame with the money flow coming up was looking pretty good. And, it's not that this looks horrible, right? I don't want to say like, oh, my God, this is absolutely terrible. Sometimes when you have money flow coming up like this, you can get a fake out into the green, and then it could come back into the red before finally coming up into that bigger green wave. So this money flow is still looking somewhat nice, but whoops, I do not want that in log. Just fun fact, if you put Market Cipher B on log, that's what it looks like. Pretty unusable, but yeah, it's kind of weird. But this money flow is now back in the red, right? This is not really the best look. But again, it's really not enough to really take anything home, right? Like you can't make any decisions based off this because it might just get a little bit choppy before we finally see that break into the green. But I will talk about the short position from up here, kind of where what I'm looking to see that play out a little bit more. But that money flow crossover, like we got to get this money flow back in the green. And to be quite honest with you, like coming up into zoom in here, we got the red dot. We have this bearish divergence, which to be quite honest with you guys, this is part of the reason I have been looking for shorts up here. Now, I was talking to the premium Discord earlier, talking about how we will be looking for some shorts up here. We did get the 4-hour bearish divergence with our higher highs on price action, lower highs on our momentum waves. However, you pull up Market Cipher B, and you get the bear div, you kind of get a pullback, but then the VWAP just curves right back to the upside. Your money flow is coming back into the red. So I will say, overall, this bear div would be calling for some kind of move back, right? Move back to the downside. However, I was kind of talking to the premium saying, like, I do feel there's kind of like a 50-50 shot here. Like, are we going to come up to that 59K level? Like, I think there's a really good case to be made, especially if we see that 4-hour fake out back into the green. I do think it would still be possible to come up to that $59,000 level. But again, I have taken that short position based off of, continuously rejecting this level, rejecting this golden pocket, right? Putting in the higher highs on the price action, lower highs on your momentum waves. I have taken a short up here. I'll pull that up in just a second. And if we do get a move down, to be quite honest, like I'm not necessarily looking for a massive dump, although maybe it will turn into something bigger. But really what I would be looking at is this local range, right? Now coming down to a little bit of a lower time frame, looking at the 1 hour, right? Obviously we do have somewhat of a little mini volume profile here. I actually have it. I think I have this marked out. Was it on this chart? No, let me see. I'll just pull it up over here, right? So we do have this little mini volume profile, so I'm going to give you guys these local levels right now. Local volume profile, I would say, and this is going to kind of give you guys a good guide into what I'm expecting here, or what I'm looking for over the next day or so. So again, before I get too deep into this, I just want to be clear, right? The idea... Let me grab this volume profile, drag it all the way back in here. Bada boom, hide this, hide that. and then pull up the current range, right? So, overall thought process is if we get that money flow crossover back into the green on the 4 hour, next target to the upside still remains the same, right? We have this 786 / point of control, right? And just naturally, if we break that golden pocket, the next place for price to likely go is going to be that 786. Just like once you flip the value area low to support, the next likely place for price to go is to begin that journey up to the POC. These are both very confluent levels. So that is still my sentiment for the most part, right? However, because of the 4 hour bearish divergence, right? Because of the money flow coming back into the red, as well as, if you guys remember from last night's live stream, we were looking at some stuff here on some higher time frames, such as the 10 hour, the 12 hour, the 16 hour. We do have these VWAPs starting to work their way back to the downside, right? So if we are able to see that bear div give us a little bit more of a pullback, and we start to print the 12 hour, the 16 hour bearish divergences, and we start to see the 45 minute come deeper into the red with money flow, and then also that 1 hour money flow coming back into the red as well. If we see this stuff continue, now you can see also, we do still also have the bearish divergence printing here. Bearish divergence printing here on the 1 hour as well. Fresh red dot printing, money flow coming back into the red. So I will be honest, right? My initial kind of plan, I think we talked about this on the live stream, was kind of looking at the 4 hour saying, hey, if we are able, right, if we come back into bar replay mode, just to kind of give you a little bit educational here, as we were getting this green dot on the 4 hour, it's actually looked pretty nice, right? Like just from a technical standpoint, like this looks really good. Green dot printing, money flow coming up. And kind of what I was looking for was oftentimes when you see Market Cypher be looking like this, you could kind of front run into the future here and say, hey, if price is able to get a pump and you get that 4 hour momentum wave to come back to the upside here, you could wind up coming up and putting in a lower high, which could potentially create a bearish divergence. However, really what I would have liked to see was price come up into the POC area to put in that bearish divergence. And this is kind of what I was looking for a little bit of a scalp short back to the downside. However, we can never predict exactly what price is going to do. We can try to predict what direction it's going to go, but it's very hard to predict the exact money flow, and you can see that bearish divergence actually just wound up forming here on the golden pocket. So it kind of puts us in that sticky situation where, sure, money flows back in the red on the 4 hour, but again, this could just be choppy. All this takes is like one good green dot, and I'll rip back into the green for money flow for this thing to take off to the upside. So that's kind of why I'm remaining a little bit neutral in the short term. Again, if we get stopped out here in the short, it's a very small loss for me, and we'll just look to come up to the POC for our next confirmations, which have now changed, right? It's not just going to be another 4 hour bearish divergence. It could be an additional, drive of bearish divergence, but we would have to reassess the situation if we got up there. I'll take the small loss on the short. However, I did want to cover myself just in case we do wind up getting the move to the downside here. I wanted to at least have a little bit of skin in the game in case we get that drop down. Just to be clear here, if we come on down to something like the 1 hour, we did also get an SFP here. And oftentimes when you get, and again, this is not guaranteed, but oftentimes when you get a swing failure of a high like we did right here, where you get a move above and then a wick below, even though we climbed our candles back up here, if we wind up staying under this level, guys, you get that SFP on top of a bearish divergence. Oftentimes, when you get the SFP plus a bear div, like that is actually printing right now on the hourly, on top of the 4 hour as well, when you get that, it's kind of like a trifecta confirmation, and this is something that we see happen time and time again. Every time we get like some kind of a big move, most recently we had one up here, at least on the Binance chart. I don't think we did it on Bybit. I actually missed this entry. This was a setup in the Discord, in the premium Discord. However, I missed it by like a hair because my alert never got triggered. As on Bybit, it never actually hit the level, but it did SFP on like I think every other exchange. So glad I got the information into the Discord, but I missed that trade, unfortunately. But for the most part, right, when you see these SFPs, I always talk about, when we get a big move up, I do not like to trade in here, right? If I can't get an entry down within a volume profile or within a sideways consolidation, I let price ride. And then, you're not looking to just try to catch the knife up here and look for a short. What I like to see is a move up, some nice little consolidation, and then I like to pull my volume profile to get some context. And then if I, then you're looking for bearish confirmations within the context of that volume profile, right? Sometimes it is a, an SFP on top of a bearish divergence, which is actually what we had up here. And oftentimes those do wind up being pretty nice moves to the downside. Now, I will say over here, it's not as clean, right? You do have like the little range. You have a little SFP, somewhat of a bear div, but it's a little bit uglier price action. Another good example of this was all the way back here, I believe. We come up to something like a little bit of a higher time frame. Actually, no, I'll come down to the 1 hour. Another really, really good example of this, I believe, was right up here, right? We got this big push to the upside. Pull your volume profile, wait for price to consolidate so you can actually get an idea of what price is doing, and then you're simply going to be looking for confirmations. If you're looking for shorts, in this case, which is obviously what you would be doing, wait for that deviation above the high, and then what did you have, right? You did wind up getting that SFP, the swing failure pattern of the range high, as well as bearish divergences, not only on the 1 hour with money flow coming out, but you also had it on many other time frames as well. And then what happened, this was another setup in the Discord, big drop to the downside, and I actually did take this trade, except I took it on Ethereum rather than Bitcoin, I believe. So yeah. Just kind of like a similar theory here of why I took that short position. Now, on top of that, you have 4-hour bear div, 1-hour bear div, on top of the fact that, that 8-hour VWAP is almost ready to print a red dot. 30-minute money flow also looking to cross over into the red. So you have those, medium to high time frame red dots with the money flow coming out on the lower time frames. Could easily give us a bit more of a push to the downside. So again, not like the highest, again, like I said, I am pretty neutral right now. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we just rip back up. Price is very pumpy and dumpy, obviously, as you can see. Very, very choppy, very pumpy and dumpy. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we just get some kind of random rip up. But I did take the short for those reasons, on top of a few other things, right? 5-hour bear div now printing. But again, this money flow does not look horrible. So kind of a neutral day for me. But I did take the bet on the short. We'll have to see what happens. Pretty small position size for me. Let me see. Do I have that pulled up here? Am I logged in? I think I am. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, let me pull this up real quick. Pretty much, I wouldn't say at break even, but yeah, not too much of a play out here. I entered this entry price sitting at 57,895. So let me go ahead and mark that out. 57,895. Bada boom. 57,895. Bada boom. And yeah, so basically sitting at break even there for the most part. Wait, that can't be right. Hold on a second. That can't be right. Hang on. No, that's the I was going to say, that is not my entry price. Where's why can I not see my entry price? Did this move? Am I tripping right now? Hang on one second here. Hang on a second. What the? Oh, hang on. Hold up. Why am I doing this? I can just look up here. Let's see. Bada boom. Okay, so 58,211. Gee willikers. 58,211. I don't know why I am like all over the place today. I'm like, I don't hope I'm not getting sick. Usually when I get sick, I kind of lose my mind a little bit. I get like fever brain. But yeah, so there you go. Kind of like just, again, this is not a signal to short Bitcoin, guys. The entry was up here. I would not, not that if you enter now, you can enter anywhere and get into profit, right? At some point by luck. But just to be clear, this is not a trade signal. I'm just showing you guys what I'm doing. And there you go, right? So if I do get stopped out, my stop is like very close to this high. I'll get stopped out for a very small loss. If we do continue down, like I said, I will be looking at that more local volume profile, hide the bada boom, right? And then pull that little, what am I doing here? Local volume profile. And then, at this point, right, remember, based off the volume profiles, what you're looking for on these volume profile trades, just from a general point of view here, you're looking for a potential reclaim of the range, right? You're looking for a breakdown back below that value area high, acceptance back into the range. If we can get that, price will likely gravitate towards that POC and then back down to the value area low. So that's kind of the thought process behind that trade. Again, it's not just the bearish divergences. It's also some things I was looking at on the order flow. Again, not a trade signal. I am not saying short Bitcoin right now. As a matter of fact, do not short Bitcoin right now. It's going to 100K. Don't short Bitcoin. It's always hard showing positions because I know there's a lot of people out there that might just try to copy trade. If you try to copy trade, you will lose money. It is not a profitable strategy. You can never just go on YouTube and copy trade people and make money. Even if they win the trade, does not mean that you're going to make money, right? So just to be very clear, I just wanted to update you guys on that. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Pull that up one more time. So yeah, up about 3.6%. Like I said, not even really considering this playing out yet. But yeah, up $134 at the moment. Let's see if we can get down to that value area low, make a couple of grand, hopefully by the end of tonight. If not, we'll get stopped out at a small loss. And if you guys want to trade on Femex, you can check the link in the description down below. And I actually don't know if they have any deals going on, but if you guys are looking for a place to trade, I do know Femex has something really, really exciting on the way, or I believe they are. Yeah, I can't share anything. Actually, I don't think I could share anything, but it's just going to be really cool. Really exciting stuff. But anyway, let's see. Mark Dutch said, but once you're there, you'll feel like if you were in heaven. Amsterdam is close for heaven. Not financial advice. Shout out to Mark Dutch. I have never been to Amsterdam, but it does seem like a pretty cool place. I feel like they just vibing out there, to be honest with you. Let's see. Shout out to Creighton C. Said, would you stop getting sick? Take care of yourself. Try sleeping, less caffeine. Tony, could you make him some chicken soup? We know Mrs. Candles won't. Shout out to Creighton C. I don't think I'm getting sick. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't think I'm sick, though. But we got the Aztec King Cactus Small Spotter here. This will bring me right back to life. I bet you that'll happen. Shout out to Wick589. I'm sorry, I missed that super chat. Thank you. Shout out to Wick589. Thank you for the super chat. Said, roses are red. Frank never hot. Yo, shout out to Wick589. Roses are red. Frank never hotter. Frank's never hotter. Hit the like button. Cactus Moss Water. Do you love me? Will you see XRP? Yo, shout out to Wick589, who's also a full-time poet. I don't know if you guys know that. Actually met Wick in Nashville, and he was telling me that he's actually a full-time poet, and he makes a ton of money writing poems like that. So shout out to Wick589. Send me the bill, bro, because that was some heat right there, spitting bars. Shout out to Wick. Yes, we will take a look, absolutely. Shout out to Aldo. Welcome in, bro. Said, good to see you again. I don't know if he's talking to me or the Mafia, but what's going on? Welcome in, bro. Let's see. But yeah, we'll take a look at XRP for sure. And actually I saw a video last night about XRP partnering with Apple, right? There was rumors, I don't know if they're true or not, that Apple's trying to partner with XRP for their tap to pay on Apple Pay. And they were talking about how if you look at the iPhone 15 box, which I do have, I actually don't have it with me. Actually, hang on, maybe I can find it. Got to be around here somewhere. But yeah, the iPhone 15 box kind of looks like there's an X on the front of the box, which is hilarious because it's it always seems like XRP is XRP community is always trying to find that one thing that's the secret to why XRP is going to explode. Now I'm not saying this is true, but I will say this: the iPhone 15 box is it's whatever. It kind of looks like an X. But there's some weird stuff in Apple commercials or product demos where it's literally the XRP logo just squeaked into the corner of the frame. Again, I did see this on Instagram. It could be all fake, but pretty interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a big conspiracy guy when it comes to this kind of stuff. But I will say it is kind of interesting, the stuff that they pointed out. I mean, there could be any letter X on a wall, but just the way the X was, literally looked like the XRP logo. Very, very interesting. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Shout out to Skiing Rooster. Yeah, would not buy XRP based off of that. Like I said, I feel like XRP Army's always got some kind of conspiracy that's going to send XRP to the moon. But it is really interesting. I just recommend going and look at it. Do not make if you're making financial decisions based off of something like that, please rethink your plans, right? But it is interesting. It will be funny to look back if that did wind up happening. Even if they did wind up using XRP, the chances of them putting those X's in there to drop hints is probably zero, less than zero, in my opinion, at least. I don't believe that stuff, but it is interesting. It is. I should have taken a screenshot and pulled it up. Yeah, XRP stablecoin. Yeah, maybe if it does happen, maybe XRP will move. But yeah, we'll take a look at XRP again, guys. I do hold XRP. I'm not an XRP bear, just to be very clear. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for, guys. These are local levels. Value area high 57,850. POC sitting at 56,918. Value area low sitting at 56,360. So we'll have to see what happens. Looking to get acceptance back into this range and see if we can get the move. And then if not, 59K, still the next target. But yeah, I'd watch out for those bear divs and the higher time frame red dots, or the higher hourly time frame red dots. XRP to 589. Shout out to Wick. I hope so, man. I hope so. But yeah, with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'll actually start with XRP here. And then we'll jump into ETH. If you guys want to see your favorite altcoins, go ahead and drop them in the chat. We'll take a quick look at them. Let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into XRP, which is actually getting a little pop to the upside. Oh, God. It's the app. It's Apple, guys. It's Apple. But no, to be quite honest with you guys, like all the levels remain exactly the same here on XRP, right? Like we're within our larger volume profile. These levels have like been reliable ever since we pulled this volume profile up, which has been for a very long time. It's like, I don't know when we started looking at this, but we had to have some kind of range formed, like probably back since February, or maybe even earlier. But this, we went from the low, went to the POC, broke off to the high, bearish divergence at the high, back to the POC, back to the low, deviate from the low, back to the POC, back to the high, and then we finally rejected that high, and this is where we were finally, most recently, once we got that rejection, back down to the POC. We knew that this was going to be the key level to look at, and, I mean, you hit it eerily to the almost dollar here, pulling from your low all the way up to the high here. You had your golden pocket POC confluence. This was that, the level we've been looking at on XRP for the past few weeks. I mean, I guess ever since, should say, August 8th, right? So, just getting a bounce from that level, very naturally, the next key level of resistance is going to be that value area high sitting at 62 cents, which remains, and I will dig in a little bit more into Market Cypher B here to see if we can get a bigger move up. But, just generally first, right off the bat, key level of resistance still remains 62 cents. Once we break out of that level, it opens the door to attack our real doorway to higher prices, because once we break this, 68-cent level, this is really, in my opinion, what opens up the door to a much bigger move. You can see every time we crack this level, we kind of get like, oh, it's going to go. Oh, it's going to go. Oh, it's going to go. Oh, back down. But like, this is the level, guys. This is still the very, very key level. This is similar, in my opinion, right? Now, if we take a look at Bitcoin, if I just pull Bitcoin up really quickly, you guys know, right? We had this macro volume profile from the bull market range, right? And I bring this up all the time. If you watch this channel, you know about this range, right? And this is kind of where our big doorway to higher prices on Bitcoin, right? And this was something I covered in a pre-record and all of the live streams. That value area low was the doorway to higher prices, right? And it's going to be resistance until proven otherwise, right? Similarly to XRP. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. Mrs. Candles, do you have my iPhone 15 box? I don't know where. I think it might be one of those draws or... yes, draws, not drawers. It's a draw. But yeah, it might be somewhere. You don't have to go crazy, or maybe in my in the drawer in the other room. I mean, it's not like a dire need, but I just want to show the mafia conspiracy theory here. No, I don't know where your giant water bottle is. Shout out to Mrs. Candles and her gigantic water bottle. But yeah, this was our doorway to higher prices, guys, right? Resistance until proven otherwise. But we knew once we broke above this level, it was likely going to open the door up to about 48 to 50K and potentially beyond. And this is a very, very similar situation to what we're seeing with XRP, in my own personal opinion, right? Now, if I just kind of like clear up some of these levels, I don't think this is like none of this is in folders. So let me just go ahead and bada boom, go ahead and hide that. Bring the volume profile. Oh, I think she found it. Oh, Mrs. Candle didn't find it. Oh my God, it's not in the draw. Oh, all right. Well, yeah, so right here, right, 62 cents is kind of that level, right, in my opinion, right? This is the 2021 high. That's your bull market range. That's your value area low, sitting at about 68 cents. And, resistant. We broke through, went to the POC, got rejected. But it will be resistance until proven otherwise. But if we can get a breakout into this range, that is what is, in my opinion, going to open up the door to the POC and the value area high, that range, which brings you between 83 and $1, called $1.30. Right. So yeah, like, and we're not that far away from the level, right? We're just still kind of lingering around here, just tapping. And you know what they say? The more times you tap on a door or knock on a door, the more likely are you to wake that guy up who's napping on the other side of it, and you're gonna piss him off, and he's gonna wake up and open that door. And in this case, it's the doorway to higher prices. So, and then like there's you just picture the angry guy napping in here, and he's just like, let me sleep, and you just knock on the door, and then he's gonna open the door, and you're gonna fly right through. There you go. You come to the Frankie Candles YouTube channel for the fire metaphors or analogies. I don't know. But anyway, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, shout out to Wick589 said, hey, listen, guys, listen. When something goes sideways, sometimes when it starts to move, it really starts to get the move. Yo, shout out to Tony D. Are those new candle emojis? Shout out to Tony D. Oh, God, we got more candle. Is that a candle emoji? Am I tripping? Oh my God, we got purple candle emojis. Let's go. I thought those were fireworks for a second. Shout out to Tony D. We got new purple candle emojis. Let's get it. But yeah, that's what we're looking at on. It's okay, Mrs. Candles. You don't have to find it. It's just like sitting on the desk behind something. I don't know. Don't tell her. But yeah, that is, that's what I'm going to be looking at on XRP. So yeah, like all those major levels remain the same. Nice little pop up here locally. Whoops. Nice little pop up here locally. But to be quite honest, like pull up that 4 hour. Yeah, I mean, 4 hour money flow crossover into the green could be happening soon. However, I would probably give a little bit of room to print that red dot, maybe pull back a bit before getting that bigger move to the upside. Shout out to French Toaster. Thank you for getting that membership, bro. Welcome to the Wise Guys. Let's see. Yeah, Cosmos. We could take a look at Cosmos. Shout out to Rob, the crypto snob. Said pin my next comment. Hang on one second. Free roaming the alts tonight. Yeah, shout out to Rob. We'll free roam the alts tonight. We'll kind of linger our way around the alt world. Screw it. Drop your alts in the chat, guys. You don't have to spam them, but I'm going to kind of come in and out of chat. And if you could kind of time it with when I'm looking at chat, I'm just going to kind of scroll through chat here and pick some stuff out. We'll take a look at Cosmos. We'll take a look at Ethereum, Solana, all the good ones. And then we can take a look at Theta. I'm going to take a look at some altcoins that we haven't looked at in quite some time. And let me know, guys, I'm thinking about potentially doing some altcoin update videos for the channel, like kind of like the quick market updates that we do, but for altcoins. But I'm just trying to figure out like how we're going to pick what altcoins to look at, because I can't ask the chat unless we do like altcoin live streams. I don't know. But yeah, like maybe we'll just do like top moving altcoins or like, top underperforming altcoins. Are they ready to rip? Something like that. Or maybe we'll just kind of pick, the most popular ones. Maybe we'll take some votes in this in the live stream or the Discord, and then we'll make videos. But yeah, let me know in the chat if you guys would want that. Just short market, altcoin market updates. That would be, I think it would be helpful to kind of get the, just get like the key levels out to you guys, just so I can kind of like get people like a base chart to work off of if you're trading coins that, I don't make, constant market updates about. Although we do look at them on the live stream, but we may be changing the live stream just a little bit. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue on here. So yeah, this nice little pop-up for XRP is not horrible. I will say if you wanted to pull up some like more local levels, like this is really the main range that I'm looking at. If we do pull back right off that 4 hour red dot, I would probably be looking at this zone here. Bada boom, sitting between about 0.5486 and 0.5365 as a potential bounce zone, right? So maybe we can get a pull back, get a bigger bounce back up to the value area high. So these are going to be like the main levels. But if I go ahead and hide the larger levels and we pull up some locals here, I'll show you a nice little clean way that you can look at this, right? So, yeah, I don't really like love this range just because, yeah, okay, actually I do. I was hoping it was going to pull like that. So yeah, like this would kind of be like locally. You can keep an eye on like the higher time frame levels for the big breakout. Again, I don't think unless we get some kind of crazy news, maybe Apple news about XRP or something like that, I don't think we're going to see a massive rip like instantly. But locally, if we do continue on here for this little pump to the upside, is this confluent with the value? Yeah, I love this. So yeah, here's the local level. Shout out to Wick 589. We're digging deep for you, bro. We're digging deep for you. Got to give Wick those levels, especially when he drops those fire rhymes on the super chats. Let's get it. But yeah, so I would look for something like this. If you could hold this range down here, hold that value area low / golden pocket 786. If we do come down, could potentially, get a move back into the volume profile, get back up to the POC and the high. Again, to be honest, 4 hour money flow is technically curving up. As long as this next red dot doesn't drag us back heavy into the red, we can potentially look to front run that money flow crossing into the green, which could easily get us that move back up to the value area high in POC. So those are the local levels I'd be looking at. Value area low sitting at about 5535. POC sitting at 60 cents, almost even. And then, 62 cents being that kind of macro key level that we must break out of in order to come attack that true doorway to the moon. So there you go. And I promise you, if we break this level and we shoot to that POC, you guys will see me on this live stream screaming from the rooftops, volume profile, because these tools can absolutely I want you to remember back to the Bitcoin analysis that we were doing, looking for Bitcoin to break out of that larger value area low to fill this whole range. And we stopped off at every single key level, not because I'm the best, although sometimes I do like to think I'm the best, but not because I'm the best, not because I'm a wizard, although some people think I'm a wizard. I don't, right? But just let the TA speak for itself. And if we pull up the Bybit chart, just to be quite frank here, no pun intended. Do I have the macro volume profile on here? I'll just pull a fresh one, right? Because when we were looking at this on Bybit, just remember the this actual volume profile. Like not only did we get the break above the value area low for a move through the volume profile, because remember, the whole idea of this, guys, is that the market is always yo, shout out to Flavor, bro. Yo, Flavor's got to be Tito's alt account. Shout out to Tito from Traders Reality. Flavor says, Frankie the type of guy to get caught by his girlfriend looking at naked POCs. Shout out to Flavor, bro. Shout out to Flavor. You made me laugh, bro. But yeah, this is, we get a break above that value area low. Big move. Next major target is that POC on the Bybit chart for me. We also have the POC down here on the Bitstamp chart, which we obviously interacted with. But right, once you get above that value area low, you look to go to the POC. And then once you get above the POC, you look to go to the high. And then, we could still use these levels actually on Bitcoin now that we have it up as key support, right? Like the fact that we reclaim this level is very important, right? Because if we wind up breaking down and losing this value area high, in my opinion, you heard it here first, guys, on the Frankie Candles live stream. If we're going to see that 3-day money flow play out and give us the bigger move to the downside, just know we get stuck under that $55,000 value area high. The next likely place for price to go is to come take this low here right into the macro POC, sitting at that $47,480 level. Not only the Bybit POC of the macro range, but also a weekly naked point of control, as you guys can see right here, almost on that same exact level. But that's your key level, right? This is kind of like the doorway to lower prices, right? I'll even label this doorway to lower prices. So there you go. That is what I'm looking at on Bitcoin, but really, I'm just using this as an example to explain kind of what I'm expecting here on XRP. So those are the local levels, Wick. Hopefully that helps you out, and hopefully you can kind of use this as your guide to what price is going to do next. Shout out to Wick589, and actually it's this XRP chart right here. I had the wrong one up. So there you go. Real quick, guys, I'm going to take a look at XRP. I'm going to take a quick look at Ethereum. I might not stick on Ethereum for too long just because it's probably looking, it's just kind of still wiggling around here on that monthly POC, not monthly POC, but the monthly fresh monthly level, which is now tapped, and POC of the larger range here, right? So, again, as long as we remain above this value area low, sitting at 2150, right? As long as we hold above this level, I will be looking for price to potentially continue back into our next key levels of resistance that we looked at last night and the night before, which is that daily and golden pocket confluence sitting between 2427 and 2452. Shout out to French Toaster. Thank you for getting that Frankie Candles membership. And shout out to Certified LB. Congrats on that gifted membership. Let's go. Shout out to French Toaster. Let's see. Bada boom. Can you check CRV? Yeah, we can try to check CRV. I'm actually going to write down some here. I'm not going to take all the requests right now, but I will just write a couple of them. CRV, Atom. I'm going to take a look at Solana, obviously. We do always do like the quick check-ins on Solana, ETH, XRP, kind of the big ones. But yeah, that's kind of what I would look for, right? Like still the same thing that we've been looking at here for the time being. Yeah, like you didn't get the bear div here on Ethereum. You are getting the green dot on the 4 hour. So yeah, key level of support is this blue box sitting between 2240 and 2284. Lose this level, looking down towards 2148, and then if we break out to the upside, I will be looking at 2450 and 2500 being the next major level of resistance. Other than that, money flow still looking somewhat decent on the 4 hour, starting to come out a little bit again here, which isn't the best look, but generally you are still trending to the upside here, so that doesn't look horrible. So there you go. Quick update on Ethereum. I'm not going to go over like the much higher levels or anything like that because we're kind of far away. So I'll just cover kind of the local stuff here. Let's see. Yo, French Toaster using those new candles. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. Shout out to Mark Dutch. What is going on, bro? Bada boom, bada bing. We need a stream where you do TA on microcap. Shout out to Clay the Great. Yeah, I mean, we could probably do that. The only thing is, like, if there's no real, like, if there's very little liquidity, it's very hard to do TA on coins with little liquidity. So, yeah, like, if it has a somewhat of a healthy-looking chart, we could do the TA. But a lot of times with, like, the microcaps or, like, the really small meme coins, the charts are, like, unidentifiable, right? So, like, if we pull up something like give me a trash coin here. Somebody give me a trash coin. I don't know. I'll just pull up the one that we always bring up. Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy that they make that. Let's see. I don't remember. I mean, I could probably I'll just pull this one up. Yeah, like right, like something like this is not gonna be very TA-able or analyzable. So yeah, as long as it doesn't look like this, we could probably do something like that. But a lot of times, right, like you're not going to get the retracements that you're looking for. It's not really going to respect the TA, and it's like almost impossible to pull volume profiles on stuff like this. Oftentimes, it's very difficult. But not all microcaps look like this. So, but yeah, maybe we could try to do that for sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on. That was Ethereum. Quick look at Solana, like still just doing the same thing, right? Wait, hang on a second, guys. Hang on a second. We didn't celebrate. We didn't celebrate once again that we are in the same exact spot for the fourth stream in a row. 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Frankie Candle's live stream. 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Frankie Candle's live stream. 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Frankie Candle's live stream. 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Frankie Candle's live stream. We could have streamed. Price could have been down here, over here, over here, over here. But no, live stream. Unbelievable. So actually, maybe we should start trading based off of that. I'm just kidding. Don't actually do this. But yeah, if we rip up, maybe just short until 5:45, back down to 58K. If we dump, you could long right before 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and get back to 58K. Too funny. But yeah, Solana, still in the same situation that we were looking at yesterday within our larger volume profile. I'll give you some more local levels as well. I'll actually pull them up here. I showed these yesterday as well. Very similar to Bitcoin, right? If we get a bigger break to the upside, very simply put, the next major level I will be looking at is $143, right? If we get a breakdown and we get stuck under this key level, this is a key level on Solana, 133.71. We get stuck underneath this, that's where I'm looking for a bigger move down, right? And then I would very likely, I should say, be looking for longs back down here between about 127 all the way down to 123. If we come back into this zone, that's where I'm going to be looking for longs. But if we get the breakout here, and again, I am somewhat neutral right now, especially with especially on Bitcoin with the way the 4-hour looks. We got the 4-hour money flow crossover here, but this 4-hour is kind of looking to come back down potentially and cool off. So again, I would have liked to see a little bit of a stronger reaction off of that last green dot with the money flow crossover at the same time. Typically, that's a pretty strong level. So very simply put, key level to hold, as long as you can remain, and this is kind of the same thing for Bitcoin. If you could remain above this key level, which is the value area high at 133, we could continue up. But the second you break down below here, not the second you break down below it, but once you break down here and you can't get back above, that's where you're looking back down towards the PLC and value area low. Like all the same stuff, like structurally. We have this little range, and then we have the larger range. So yeah, that's what I'd be looking at. Let's take a look at the daily. This is another thing on Bitcoin as well, like daily VWAP coming down with the red dot, looking to print. Kind of similar on Solana, but again, you zoom in, like very choppy right now, very choppy. This is not what you like to see, right? You like to see like nice, smooth VWAP moves, smooth move, not like this wonked out garbage. So yeah, like you can see, smooth move, big move up, smooth move, not really so smooth, right? Well, I guess kind of. You got that big dump to the downside. But like when you get these like choppy moves, right, the VWAP's just kind of like, right? You're kind of just stuck to the POC. So really, I don't like the way this daily looks, but because it could either just get stepped on and get a big move up, or this could just yeet back down and print a red dot very, very quickly. Very uncertain right now. That's why I'm going to give a lot of if this, then that's today, right? If we stay above this level at 133.87, probably going to get the move up. If we get stuck under that key level at 133, going to be looking for the bigger move down within the context of the value area below. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Jesse. What is going on, bro? Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, bro. He says, Be the king of Fibonacci. Shout out to Jesse. Yo, let's go. They don't call me Frankie Fibs for nothing. They don't call me Frankie Fibonacci for nothing. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for the super chat. Yo, funny stuff, bro. Frankie Fibonacci. Actually, that was in the running for my name. I really liked Frankie Candles, but Frankie Fibonacci was like almost unpass-upable. We almost couldn't pass that up. Frankie Candles, though. Frankie Candles just feels so good. Frankie Candles is real. Frankie Fibonacci would have, I don't know. I feel like it just didn't fit. Like, you just say them. Like, Frankie Fibonacci is good, but Frankie Candles. Like, ooh, that's home right there. But anyway, shout out to Dave Digital. Said, I'm in the same short for the third dang time. Shout out to Dave Digital. Actually, I don't. Did I mention this? I actually did take a small short last night. I actually didn't even share this with the Discord just because it was pretty degenerate. I don't want to say degenerate, but it was very low probability. I actually did take that short here. Was it here? It wasn't on Solana. What am I doing? Probably the same move on Bitcoin. Yeah, so that I did take the short up here late last night. It was actually short from, I believe, this wick here. I had my stop right above the high. We bing-bonged around, woke up, did have the bigger move to the downside, and then by the time I got off the live stream with the Twitter space with Femex, shout out to anybody who did not see that. Go tune into that. Did a Twitter space or an X space with Femex and our boy Tom Crown, one of the GOATs out there. Shout out to Tom Crown. But yeah, the got that move down, and then basically by the time I got off that live stream, I was like, oh cool, like playing out, and then 2 seconds later it was just like back. I just closed out the trade, but now we're just re-entered back in. So we'll see. Hopefully it winds up playing out a little bit better this time. Let's see. If we get a little pump, and then dump back down to the bottom of the channel to retest one more time, it would line up with the previous bull cycle. Hey, shout out to John Vucci. I don't hate that idea. That's kind of what I would like. That's kind of what I would like, to be honest. My last name is Van Gogh, but I changed it to Dutch. Hey, shout out to Mark. I believe you, bro. Shout out to Wig 589 said when Frankie's done playing in the bull market, they call him Frankie Fiat. Shout out to Wig 589. That's also what they would call me if I drove a Fiat, Frankie Fiat. But I don't drive a Fiat. Although the Fiat Abarth is pretty bad. That thing's bad. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. I love it here. Shout out to Elite Ways EZ. Let's go. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue on here. So we took a look at Solana, took a look at XRP, took a look at Ethereum. Let's go ahead and jump in on Atom. So Atom, and we're not talking about a person here, guys. We are talking about Cosmos. Let's pull up the Atom chart for the live stream, which is sitting right here. Yeah, so we did hold, right? As you guys know, on this live stream, we have been covering, we were covering this very large key high volume node. If you pull up the higher time frames, zoom out a bit, bada boom, right here, right? Come on. Oh, we got to pull these candles in a little bit. Come on, volume, right? Pointing out this very key shelf in volume, right? You can see just under that level, we have a pretty big gap leading down to this next high volume node sitting at about $2.75. Now, we did come down to that level, and we did wind up holding it, right? We marked it out right on the shelf of volume here because we know if we break down below that level, whoops. Come on here. We don't want, come on. What is going on? There we go. If we break this level, bada boom, if we break down below this high volume node, very likely, right, we would get that break through that low volume gap into the larger high volume node down here. That is why this was such a key level. Luckily, we did wind up holding that high volume node, right? So, got the bounce. I'll be honest, I would have liked a little bit stronger of a bounce here. But here's the thing, right? We have this clear value area above. This is actually a pretty nice value area. You can see we dipped down into this slightly, got a hard bounce, acted as support again right here. And then once we came back down, broke into it, got stuck under the value area high. We got that move to the POC and then back down to the value area low. And then we finally lost the range. So right now, it's a pretty clear roadmap to what I would expect. If we get another move to the upside, I will be looking for a push into the value area low. If we could get above that value area low, I would look to get accepted back into this range, looking at the POC and value area high as the next key levels of resistance. Value area low sitting at 460, POC sitting at 533, and that value area high sitting at 656. Now, again, you could pull more local levels here if you were trying to like be a little bit more scalpy. You could pull this little local range, but I'm just going to give you guys the bigger levels here because then, at what point are we just marking out too many levels? We can go down to the 1 minute and pull, every single Fibonacci retracement that we could possibly dream of. But, for the most part, if we get this continued push to the upside, this is your next key level of resistance sitting at the value area low. Go ahead and mark this out. Come on. Mark this out at the value area low. Come on with this. I'm getting trolled right now. Shout out to Tony D. Computer is being trash. Actually, not really. I don't think any of that had to do with the computer. That was just all misclicks. Let's see. Bada boom. Yo, shout out. Talk about pumping and dumping. This concurrent live stream chart, I don't even know how many people are in here right now. The live stream chart is pumping and dumping too. It's like dipping and then ripping to another high and then dipping and then ripping. That's weird. Let's see. Is that an inverse head and shoulders on BTC on the daily with those wicks? We will take a look at that in just a second. But again, right, 16-hour red dot, like very similar to Bitcoin. If we get the bigger move down, I do think those 16-hour red dots, those 10-hour red dots, 12-hour red dots, probably going to be the thing that gives you that next push down if you get it. But for Atom, that would be the next area of balance I'd be looking at ahead. Let's see. Okay, let me check that real quick. That is Atom. Again, daily VWAP also kind of curving out. A little too soon to pull anything away from that. Yeah, 3-day green dots printing. I mean, to be quite honest, if you want to move up on Atom, I mean, this is probably the best chance that you have it as any, right? Like 3-day bullish divergence into a key level, right? You do technically have the bull div there with the green dot printing. You got quadruple snake eyes there on Market Cipher B. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe you still get some volatility locally, but could get that secondary push to the upside into this range. But those would be the key levels, and we will check on this. If we do get a move up, we will come back in and check on this. Moving back over to Bitcoin here. Just more pumpy-dumpy action. Really kind of wonked out here. I mean, this is like wild, just whipsaw, just ripping up and down. But yeah, inverse head and shoulders on the daily. Let me see. Yeah, you could. Yeah, I see what you're looking at, right? Like left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, complete. Yeah, maybe. I don't trade based off these patterns. And again, just to be clear, guys, I want to be clear on why I say this all the time, right? Like why I don't trade these patterns, because it has everything to do with like the patterns don't move the market, right? And in my opinion, right, like the idea now, this doesn't mean that you can't trade patterns, right? Like I think I have videos on the channel explaining trading patterns. Like they aren't irrelevant. But it is very important to realize that you can't just trade based off of a trading pattern, right? If you wind up doing that, it's a very hard strategy to be profitable with. I'm sure there's people out there that do it profitably, but the big reason is just that patterns don't move the market, right? Like the price does not know if it's in a head and shoulders. The price does not know if it's in a bull pennant, right? And the real reason that I don't really trade this is because I used to trade patterns, right? And you'll just realize that more often than not, when you see a pattern form, right, whether it's a bull pennant, whatever it is, falling wedge, and again, it's not that they're irrelevant or don't mean anything, right? Like more often than not, a bull pennant will break up then break down, but this is very hard to trade based off of because if you don't understand that there may be a lot of liquidity down below, oftentimes you will see that a bull pennant will fake out to the downside and then rip to the upside, or fake out to the upside and rip to the downside. This is the one that gets everybody, right? Because if you have a lot of people if you can identify that there is a lot of liquidity above, right? If you can find out that there's a lot of liquidity above using other more advanced techniques than a trading pattern, you can kind of understand that if you get a break out of this pennant, like if you trade pennants, you'll know that they fake out very often, right? But if you get that breakout, if you can understand how to read order flow or just how to identify if you have a lot of liquidity sitting above, you could sometimes identify if you're actually getting a fake out so you don't enter on a false breakout and then get into a long position and then get wrecked. This is a retail trading strategy, and it's not that we're not retail or I'm not retail, right? But this is a very popular, beginner retail trading strategy. I use patterns, but as a confluence to other methods, right? When I see a pennant, I like to know, hey, is there likely a lot of liquidity sitting above here? Because if there is, I know that there's, what is everybody thinking when they see a bull pennant? It's going to go up, right? All retail's thinking, oh my God, this is going to break up. And what happens to most retail? They get wrecked, right? So most people lose trading, right? Most people lose most of their trades. So if you can understand that there's a lot of retail liquidity sitting up here, you can anticipate, hey, we might go grab that liquidity. Everyone's going to funnel in here thinking that it's a fake, thinking that it's a real breakout. Oh my God, the bull pennant's breaking out, right? And then it's likely going to be a fake out to wash out the short liquidity up here, only to get another move to the downside, right? So, to be quite honest, oftentimes these fake out up and then down, which fakes out everyone looking at the pattern. And oftentimes they fake out down and then they wind up playing out, right? Like when I would trade patterns, I would notice man, these do break up more than they break down. But when they break up, a lot of times it breaks down first and then breaks down first and then breaks up, or it just breaks up a little bit and then dumps, right? So more often than not, you do get the move up, but the question is, are you going to get the fake out down or the fake out up? And once you figure this out, you can kind of avoid these mistakes, right? And avoid these kind of retail mentalities, and you'll start to win more of your trades. So, if I were looking at a bull pennant like this and I knew that there was likely a lot of liquidity sitting above these highs, probably what I would be doing is looking at this more as a range, and then I would be looking for something like a bearish confirmation on the breakout, right? Breakout above the high, look for something like a swing failure pattern, right? Which is very common when you have a lot of liquidity sitting above. Look for a swing failure pattern, look for your bearish confirmations, and then look to short that back down, right? So you do get the breakout technically, but really it's just an opportunity to enter a short for the bigger move down. And it's not all the time. Sometimes they just break up, right? I could probably find you one that just breaks up pretty quickly, right? Because oftentimes when you anytime you break to the upside, sideways consolidation is considered bullish consolidation, right? But oftentimes they do fake out, right? Like what happened here, right? This is a perfect example. You have a textbook bull pennant, right? Maybe an ascending triangle, maybe a bull pennant, depending on how you draw it, right? You get a move up, coiling up in the bull pennant, and what happens? Oh my God, breakout 100K, whomp, and then you come down. Right, so it's not that you can't trade these breakouts, right? This is the daily time frame, right? So this was, obviously you could have made money on this move, but a lot of people are thinking that that's going to give you the big continuation up, but it was really kind of just a fake out, and then you eat it all back up, and you come back to the downside. But and then price actually never even really went much higher. It kind of just kept dumping down, and then eventually we got another move up. So these just aren't as reliable as a sole trading strategy as a lot of people think. But again, not useless. Again, I have videos explaining them because they do mean something, right? Again, you could look at this as hey, this is probably going to break up. But if you understand, actually back in the day, we actually looked at this, I believe it was this breakout, as this was actually an identifiable short squeeze. I'm almost 100. When was this? March 2023. I could fact check this in the Discord, right? In the Discord, I was posting about this and I think we actually looked at it on the live stream the day after it happened. Things actually, I believe, on the 4-hour looked pretty bearish here, right? But then we actually noticed, right, we had the kind of sideways range or bull pennant, right? It was kind of confusing because you have a bull pennant, but then I believe the 4-hour, let me actually look at this because this could actually teach a lot of people. This is where we have the bear divs on the 4-hour. Yeah, right? So you have bear divs on the 4-hour, higher highs on your price action. Money flow is coming out on the 4-hour. That's very indicative of a breakdown, right? But then you're in a bull pennant. That's a bullish scenario. That's a bullish trading pattern. But what I did was read the order flow, right? Or in the Discord, we were reading the order flow, right? Saying, hey, what we spotted here, we actually, the same thing that we looked at on Matic recently, where you actually had all the futures traders shorting into this uptrend where everybody on spot was kind of buying, pushing the price up. And then what happened? That was putting a lot of short liquidity above here, making this run to the upside an actual short squeeze, right? Not a sustainable push up, but a short squeeze. giving you that aggressive push to the upside, which eventually just got eaten back up, right? So, and that's kind of how you can like read this stuff in a more advanced way, so you're not just kind of taking a 50-50 bet on whether this pennant is going to break up or down. But again, right, this bull pennant did break up, but when you have a deeper insight into what you're looking at, you can kind of identify like how that's going to play out, right? And if there wasn't a lot of liquidity sitting up here, you didn't have the short squeeze setting up before it happened, and you weren't able to see that, then you might have said, hey, maybe there's more liquidity down below, maybe we're going to fake out down and then get a really big move up, right? That wasn't the case in this particular situation, but like these are the things, in my opinion, that are much more reliable to look at rather than just a trading pattern. So they are useful for sure, but it's not as easy as seeing a bull pennant and longing, or seeing a bear pennant and shorting. But there you go. But anyway, let's continue on. I mean, speaking of bear pennants, right? Like, I guess you probably could have looked at this as somewhat of a bear pennant, right? Like, you come down, want, and what happens? Big rip up, big rip down, right? Just like a big, probably a ton of people shorting here. And we could look at the order flow and see if that was the case down there, right? It was probably what caused that big push to the upside, which is why, and let me explain something really quickly, guys. Let me just drop some sauce. There's no way to really confirm this, right? But this is probably likely what happened here. You probably see this bear pennant. A lot of people are shorting, putting a lot of liquidity above. When you get stopped out of a short, it creates a market buy. Once price gets pushed up here and you start stopping out all that liquidity above, that is what gives you the big push to the upside. But then you might be thinking to yourself, well, hey, why is that big move down happen? Let me explain this. Short squeeze from all the stops getting hit on the way, right? Again, bear pennant, all retail is thinking 0, 0, 0, price is going down, right? What do? They put in shorts. What do those shorts do? They have to put their stop loss, and if they don't want to put a stop loss, their liquidation level is going to be somewhere above these levels, right? Bada boom. So think about it. Visualize it like this. You have billions and billions and bajillions and whatever, right? I don't know how many trades there's going to be, right? But you have tons of people shorting here. All the retail is shorting here. And what does that do? It puts all these stop losses here, right? And this is what liquidity is, right? And this is not only stop losses, but also liquidation levels, right? When you get stopped out or liquidated out of a short, that creates a market buy. That's why you see a short squeeze. That is what a short squeeze actually is. So once price pushes up here and starting the cascade of stopping out people and liquidating people, that's what creates the big market, pushes to the upside in the market. And then why are you seeing this big drop down? This is why you see these. I'm just going to explain this. I'm dropped the sauce right now. This is why you see on FOMC days, stuff like this, you see a lot of moves like this because there's a lot of people trading and you get a lot of liquidity, right? So once you get that short squeeze, then what happens on this move up? What does retail think? Retail isn't thinking, oh my God, this is shorts getting wrecked. Retail is thinking, oh my God, pump, breakout. This is going to go higher. So what do? They long the move up. What does that do? It does the exact opposite of what I just explained down here. It puts a ton of liquidity down below. If they are longing on this move up, all those long positions, right? If you're new here, smash that like button if I just taught you something. This is what most people will charge you for. When people are all longing in the move up, oh my God, we're breaking out. 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 Breaking out. Oh my God, 100K, $1 billion, right? Look at all those stop losses. So once that short squeeze is finished, right, and you wind up getting that move back down, all of a sudden there's all these stop losses, AKA, this is why the people call liquidity the fuel or stop losses fuel to the next move, because once price comes back down and starts wrecking the longs, it creates that same jet fuel that we got to the upside from wrecking the shorts, but in the opposite direction. And that is why you see these giant rips and dips in the market, especially on high volatility days like FOMC. It's usually shorts getting wrecked and then longs getting wrecked, right? And that's how it works, right? It's not just like, oh, longs got wrecked. Oh, shorts got wrecked. It's not always the case, right? But you want to look at the market in this kind of you want to look at the market and come up with these hypotheses, right? You think to yourself like, okay, bear pennant, like what are retail traders thinking, right? And I hate like talking about retail and not retail. It's like, who cares, right? But like, what are people thinking here? Bear pennant, short, it's going to zero, and this is why I don't trade patterns, right? It's just not that easy. It's not that simple, and I think it's irresponsible. If you know what you're doing, it's irresponsible to tell people like you could just short and long this stuff because it's just not the case. So there you go. But again, they do play out sometimes, and they do. I don't want to like I don't want to like completely like I'm not discrediting patterns in general, right? Like you guys will see me look at patterns, right? But again, I'm not trading based off them. I'm also looking at all this other stuff, and without looking at all that other stuff, in my opinion, it's not that useful. So shout out to you guys. Hopefully you just learned something. But now we took a look at Atom. Let's go ahead and take a look at what else? Curve. Let's take a look at CRV. Bada boom, bada bing. Smash that like button if I just taught you something. I'm gonna take a sip of some actual water. shout out to Mark Dutch said, I tail, you tail, retail. Let's go. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Ajax. Okay. Shout out to Jesse. Pennywise that says that's some bolognese. Let's go. Shout out to Pennywise. Yeah, and shout out to iSpeed. Shout out to iShowSpeed. Yeah, no, that is one of 1,000 theories, right? But here's the thing, and 100% correct, right? Like there's really no way to like guarantee that's what's happening, right? This is just what I do and what has worked for me, right? And again, if you look at the charts and you look at the markets and you trade for as long as I have been, Frankie the pattern trading hater. Yeah, no, it's not. And here's the thing: like you can trade patterns and be successful. There are people out there that can trade patterns and be successful. This just works for me, right? I will never. That's why I never like to discredit other trading strategies, right? Because like just because it doesn't work for me doesn't mean it'll work for someone else. I just think patterns are very widely used to kind of make people think trading's easier than it is, right? And like you will learn what works for you. You'll learn what's high probability in your own journey, right? But yeah, this is 1,000 different theories. But here's the thing: you can use things like exo charts to see the literal orders coming into the market, and you can actually read this real-time data, right? So this is the difference between trading a pattern and reading order flow, right? Like you are physically seeing the buys and sells come in real time on exo charts, right? So when you know how to read this stuff, this is really what gives you the big edge, right? Because you can literally see, hey, oh, we came down to a low, right? And I'm not going to go over exo charts right now, especially on the live stream here, because I know it's really overwhelming for people. But just so you know, this is why, like, this is much more provable than an arbitrary drawing on a chart, right? It just is, right? Because you can actually see, hey, we're coming down to a key level of support. What is happening at this level? Rather than just looking at a candlestick chart, which again, you can be successful doing. But this is just really what gave me a big breakthrough in my trading, right? And that's why I like to share it with you guys, because I hope to expedite your learning process, right? So, you know, if you're approaching a key level, instead of just saying like, oh, hey, like this is very limited information, right? Like it's just like, hey, we're hitting a key level. Like, will it bounce? It's kind of like you're sitting there and you're like, oh my God, is this going to go up or no? And it's kind of hard to tell, right? But like when you, and again, if you use exo charts, you learn how to read order flow. This is not just going to be like, you're going to be able to look at this and be like, oh, I definitely know what's going to happen, right? Like it's not just going to be 100% either. But, you know, if you're looking at this like, hey, we're coming down to a key level of support, what is happening here, right? And you might see like, wow, there's a lot of selling imbalances here. And this only shows you, it's a little quick sauce, this only shows you market orders, right? So this is really only showing you what retail is doing, right? Because most retail uses, or I shouldn't say most retail uses market orders, but big players don't use market orders for a variation of reasons, right? Whether it be avoiding, they can't because of the fees, the slippage. There's many reasons why they don't use market orders. They have to use limit orders, right? But this is like kind of what a lot of my trading strategy is based around, right? But when you come down to this level, if you see that there's a lot of buyers or sellers, you're able to read this chart and understand by looking at all these other more advanced indicators like, okay, shorts are coming in, open interest is coming up or down, and you're able to see this stuff at the actual level and put a numerical value and actually identify what is going on here compared to other candles. You can say to yourself, well, hey, if I see a lot of sellers coming into a very strong level of support, and the level's not breaking, that might mean something, right? Maybe all the retail is shorting the bottom, right? And this is very, this is like how we were able to kind of explain how Matic ripped so hard, right? It really had a lot to do with people getting wrecked. There was also some big orders that came in on Matic, but a lot of people were shorting the bottom on Matic. People were very bearish. The leverage traders were all shorting Matic like crazy. And then a big player came in, pushed the price up into those stop losses, and then you see the short squeeze. And you can literally, on exo charts, you can literally see the liquidations come in, right? So you can literally see this stuff, right? You can't prove that, looking at this, like you can't just say like, oh, people are shorting because of a bear pennant, right? But if there's a bear pennant there and you see a lot of shorts coming in, you can kind of like make the assumption of like, hey, I wonder why everyone's shorting here. It's probably because of this, right? So yeah, it's just like, again, it's not that I don't trade patterns or I don't look at patterns or believe in them or anything like that. I just don't trade them alone. I think like anyone that you like look at that is looking at patterns, they're very likely looking at other stuff too, right? Because it's not a very good strategy alone, right? Just like anything, right? Like I wouldn't trade. Some people trade order flow alone. I probably think that's a better strategy than trading patterns alone. But like I wouldn't trade. I don't trade just on order flow, right? I also look at the trading view chart and other things, right? So yeah, and it's all about what works for you, right? There might be someone in here that makes a ton of money just trading patterns, right? And if you've been making money consistently over a long period of time just trading patterns and looking at nothing but those patterns, don't change what you're doing. Screw what anyone else says. So yeah, it doesn't invalidate anyone else's strategy at all. I want to be very clear about that. Again, it's just about what works for you. What works for me may work for you, and I think a lot of it does work for other people, but what works for me doesn't mean it's definitely going to work for you. So there you go. But yeah, so it's one of 1,000 different theories. So there you go. All right, let's see. 4-year cycle theory, right? Yeah, like is it the 4-year cycle? Is it tied to traditional money? I kind of look at everything, right? Until one's proven wrong. So there you go. And that's my thing is like I traded patterns alone back in the day, right? And then I realized that it wasn't that reliable of a strategy. So I implemented more things. I didn't get rid of the patterns. I just implemented more things to increase my win rate, increase my probability of winning the trades. So there you go. All right, let's see. Yeah, shout out to Kurt. I'm pinning that, bro. I'm pinning that. Kurt says, you gotta read the whole book to get the story, not just look at the cover and write a book report. And if someone's out there telling you that you can, make money by just reading the cover, right? It might not be the case, right? There we go. Shout out to Tony Roaz says, great trading view tutorial, Frankie. Yeah, guys, thank you, Tony. I appreciate you, brother. Check out the trading view tutorial that we dropped. A to Z beginners guide to using TradingView like a master, taking all of my experience over years and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of TradingView. I wish TradingView could like log the amount of time you've spent on it. If you know that that's the case, please let me know because I would love to know how much time I have logged on TradingView. It's probably sad. But taking all my experience, thousands of hours on TradingView, taking what I like, the shortcuts I use, my top 5 favorite shortcuts, as well as how I organize my charts, how I set everything up from A to Z. Tony D just dropped the link. Thank you for that, bro. Check that out, guys. A little bit of a longer video, but I highly recommend you look at it. I drop sauce throughout the whole video, so go check it out. And drop a like button if you want. All right, let's see. Bada boom. Hey, shout out to Tony Roaz, my man. Shout out to Tony. Hey, Tony. It says, I said it to my best friend that's new to trading for the sauce. Let's go. Shout out to Tony. I appreciate you, bro. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue on here, guys. Taking a look at CRV. Bada boom. Let's check it out. So yeah, all right. So I mean, this is kind of the same thing, right? We're just kind of looking at the same old, right? Again, this is brutal. Shout out to Tom Crown. We were talking about this on the Femex Twitter space. It's like this price action's brutal, guys. Like this is if you make it through this, right? Like this for me, personally, and I might be jaded, but this price action for me is worse than making it through a bear market, right? Because in a bear market, you at least have extreme volatility. Right? It's like you can look for your shorts and get big continuations, right? Like this is super boring, super sideways, super low volatility. Other than these random rips, it's just very gross price action. It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. If you're making it through this, guys, pat yourself on the back because you've made it. Hopefully till the end of this. Hopefully you're at the end here. Yeah, I mean, this is just the same thing we've been looking at. I will go ahead and mark out these levels for you. Value area low is the key level of support. 25 cents, 0.2546. Hold that level, and that is, as long as we stay above that, we get above the POC. You do have this fresh daily here, so I would be a little careful. You are, even if you get above that POC, you do have this daily. Remember, POC is the area where the most volume was transacted. So, if you do wind up kind of bing-bonging around here and sticking to this level, I would not be surprised. But if you do get a bigger breakout, golden pocket 786 sitting here between about 30 cents and about 32 cents. almost up to 33 cents. These are going to be the next targets and the next key levels I'm looking at. Again, you come down to the low, test the POC, hold the low. At this point, you're looking to flip the POC and start your move towards the high, understanding you also have these local levels of resistance. Other than that, 6-hour money flow starting to come up here a little bit. You're getting the 6-hour green dot, 8-hour green dot with a nice little, somewhat of a trigger wave there. That's not that bad. 30-minute money flow in the green. Kind of hard to say, but if those 8-hour green dot can get you above the POC, you could get a move back up. Next level technically is going to be 29 cents. Next level above that, about 30 cents. So there you go. That's what I'd be looking at on CRV. There you go. All right, let's see. 786 gang. Shout out to Jesse. Let's go. Shout out to Sleet Coil. Said you should watch Blockchain Backer's shout out to Blockchain Backer. Blockchain Backer's latest video talking about cycle theory and how it's how this time is actually different no matter if we go up or down. Interesting stuff. Yeah, shout out to Blockchain Backer. Blockchain Backer, we were in talks about getting him on the channel at some point. We lost contact with him, but Blockchain Backer has some really good content. I got to watch. I haven't seen one of his videos in a long time. But yeah, his stuff is really interesting, and he looks at a lot of stuff that I don't look at. He kind of takes like a really close eye on like macroeconomic stuff. I actually think, correct me if I'm wrong, Sleet, I think Blockchain Backer is also not a 4-year cycle denier, but a 4-year cycle questioner. Is it tied to traditional finance? Is it the 4-year cycle based off the halving? I believe he thinks that as well. But yeah, he makes really good content. I highly recommend him. But yeah, I'll have to check that out. I'll check it out tonight. If I have time, I'll definitely check that out. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I like to say this, right? Like, almost every cycle is a little bit different, right? Because every cycle kind of has its own little quirks, right? Like this cycle, we made a new all-time high before the halving, right? So like none of these cycles have really repeated exactly. It's just they're just eerily similar, right? Like, it might not be the exact same time that you remain in a bear market. It might not be the exact same time from a bottom to a top, but it usually is within a ballpark time frame. Like we've been looking at the halving being very, very close to, in 2019 or 2020, I'm sorry. Took about 161 days to really start the parabolic move. Now, I would not just expect that to be the case in this cycle, but we are eerily close. We're just, a couple of weeks away from 161 days from the halving, and that just so happens to be very close to October, right? And again, we don't have to pump because it's October, right? We've had bearish Octobers before, but this is different. New all-time high before the halving. That hasn't happened before. And maybe we take off sooner than ever. Maybe we take off, maybe we remain sideways or coming down longer than ever. But at the end of the day, all of these differences do wind up looking like just somewhat of a small quirk in the overall grand scheme of things. But here's the thing. This is what I say. The 4-year cycle technically has rhymed over every cycle, but it's also rhymed with the macroeconomic cycle, right? Like the looser monetary policy is always tied to the risk on assets going up. So the only way that we can literally prove, it's hard to disprove that the halving theory doesn't work, but it's hard to just say it's 100% the thing, right? Until we see Bitcoin fly in a different macroeconomic environment than we've seen it fly in before, right? Maybe it breaks out while everything else goes down and the money printer's off, right? If that's the case, then we can say, well, hey, Bitcoin's just pumping because of the halving cycle and the supply shock and all that stuff, right? But it's pretty easy to point to the money printer typically being the thing that causes the big moves up. So it's interesting, right? And to me, I approach the charts as an investigative detective, right? I just like to see, like, I'm not very, I'm agnostic. I don't care if the 4-year cycle winds up being tied to the halving or the monetary cycle. I just can't wait to find out, right? Like, I look at these theories, and maybe I have one that I might believe a little bit more, but I don't really care, right? I'm just interested in seeing what it's actually going to do. So super interesting. Shout out to Sleek Coil said, yeah, and what's happening right now is going to answer the question. It's pretty crazy. Watch the last vid. Okay, interesting. I'll check it out. Shout out to Sleek Coil. Yeah, it's like we're watching a movie. It's like on the edge of your seat, literally. Like, is this thing going to happen again? The one thing is every cycle that goes by and it repeats, right? Like even this bear market, it gets scarier and scarier because it's like, hey, this would be like around where you would expect the bottom to come in, right? We were looking for the weekly bear bull div, which is literally what we got to be like literally the bottom. I actually talk about this a lot, not a lot, but I have a video on my channel where I look and say, hey, what if that weekly bull div is the bottom of the bear market, except I drew it like this, saying, hey, maybe it's to the oh, not even. Like, we were really close. I thought it was going to be 14K bull div, and it wound up being a, or maybe I thought it was going to be a 12K bear div or something like that. It wound up being a 15K bull div, really a lot of what made me look for it at that time was the fact of where we were in the cycle, right? But every cycle that goes by, I do think it will eventually break completely, right? That's just like almost a guarantee, right? Because as the cycle and the asset matures over time, and we get more institutional adoption and more money and a higher market cap, it's going to change the behavior of the asset. But every cycle that goes by is like, okay. Every time has been like very similar, very similar, very similar. And then it's like, when is this going to stop? Like, is this really going to just play out again? Like, if this just plays out again, it's like, how many times is it going to be that easy to predict, right? And then it just makes it harder and harder to make your decisions as the cycles go on. If it plays out again this cycle, next cycle is going to be like, oh, God, it's like, which one's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back? So anyway, let's see. Okay, so we took a look at CRV, right? Yeah, we did take a look at CRV. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at Theta. That was another one we were going to take a look at. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Smash that like button, guys. We're at 287 likes. Smash that like button. We're going for 550. I think we could do it. We got 577 people in here right now. But let's go ahead and take a look at Theta. Interesting. Yeah, let's see. 4-hour money flow in the green. You technically have the 4-hour bear div-ish. Yikes. Yeah, shout out to Great White. As long as the money printing go, brrr, let's go. Yeah, that's kind of how I lean. But yeah, shout out to Rockstar Cola says crypto phase 4 horsemen. Shout out to Rockstar Cola. He's thinking the top is in. Here's the thing. Like with Bitcoin, back to Bitcoin real quick before we take a look at Theta. I mean, here's the thing. It really depends, right? Because I will say this. 3-day money flow, and this is kind of what we're looking at, right? Like, is that drop down going to happen? Are we going to go to 40K, right? Like, I do think that is, in the cards still, right? Like, we're just looking at this pump as potentially lackluster to put in a lower high and then continue another move to the downside. That's my general sentiment still, right? It's been the sentiment since we started this range. Until this higher time frame money flow starts, right? Like, it is looking pretty bearish, right? And then we would hope if we did wind up getting that drop down to 41K, 40,000, 45,000, 47,000, whatever it winds up being, if we get it, we would just hope that things start to turn around and we can get the high time frame money flow to come up. But here's the thing. You take a look at these 3-day money flow crossovers, and it's typically not that good. I mean, it's kind of hard to say, right? Like, top in, I don't know. Shout out to Crypto Phase. I got to hit him up. Does he think like the top of the bull, like this was the top of the bull market here and we're going to another cycle? I'd love to know. I got to go look at some of his stuff and see what he actually thinks. But yeah, like these 3-day money flow crossovers are really no joke, right? You come up in the bear market rally here in 2019, bring us up to about 14K. We kind of bing bong around, right? Which is, during the summer, right? And then you wind up breaking down and you retest, you get the bigger move down, that 3-day money flows in the red, and then you get the C19 event to come in. But for the most part, right, like you kind of just went sideways for a pretty long time if you discount that drop to the downside in 2020. But That 3-day money flow crossover, did get you a big drop here. It also wound up, front running that drop down in C19. I don't know if the money flow called that, right? Because the money flow was actually coming back up and then fake back out into red. And indicators do this, guys. The indicators will do this sometimes, right? So that's why you don't want to rely 100% on just indicators. But just looking at these 3-day money flow crossovers, right? Anytime you get a significant crossover, big drops to the downside, right? This was like a little fake out crossover, did wind up giving you a bigger drop down. And then you have that big old consolidation up here. Money flow crosses into the red. You wind up starting that bigger drop to the downside. Even here, 3-day money flow crossover, kind of similar, right? This is June, July, August, September. Big drop to the downside as your 3-day money flow crosses over into the red. But then what happens? It winds up coming back up and you blast off to higher prices. So, yeah. I mean, this 3-day money flow is not anything to play with. So I bet you this probably has a lot to do with why Face is probably looking at that, right? It's like not looking that good, and I would 100% agree with that, right? That's why I'm open to that move down to 40K still, because that 3-day money flow looks nasty. But yeah, let's shout out to Jesse said inverted head and shoulders. Maybe we see that play out. But yeah, we would still, in my opinion, need that money flow to come up, to be quite honest. Let's see. Hey, what's going on? Shout out to Ash. What's good, Frankie? Please look at the 2-month chart on BTC and zoom out. It's looking pretty good. I'd say, yeah, shout out to Ash, right? That's my whole thing, is I don't personally think. Now, is it impossible to go into a full bear market? I mean, maybe. That's not my theory, right? My theory would be, even if we drop down to 40K, like this is not bull market over for me, right? To be quite honest, especially with the looser monetary policy on the way. Maybe you get the rate hikes and we get the dump, right? Maybe that happens because the rate hikes are not a switch. They do not hit a switch and then everything's okay. It takes time for that to play out. It takes time for that to play. It takes time for that to take effect, right? So maybe we get the rate hikes. Maybe we get the move down. Everybody screams bear market, but to be quite honest with you, 100%. You don't even, shout out to Ash. No need to even you zoom out to the 2-month chart, zoom out to the weekly chart, the monthly chart. Just zoom out to a higher time frame. A drop down to 40K would not be bear market in my opinion. Now, again, could it turn into a bear market? Like, I don't know. Maybe. But, like, even if you came down, like, pull your fib from the low to the macro high here, even this 786 down at $27,000, like, I would not like to see these levels broke. I really don't want 40K to break. If 40K started breaking, I'd be a little suspicious, a little bit worried. But, like, if we come down to this golden pocket, like, I'm not worried. Like, I'm not even really trying to make big bets on if we're going to get this big move down. If we get the move to 40K, for me, this is mostly a spot buying opportunity for me. That's all I really care about if we get that drop down, right? Move down to the 40K level. Maybe we wick down to the 37K where this macro golden pocket is, something like that. Let me just make sure I'm on the right kind of, yeah, okay. Like, I would see this, like, this would not really freak me out that much, right? Like, this would still maintain bullish market structure. Again, I would really like to hold the 45 to 44K level. But again, like, we come into this little area consolidation, we start bouncing around here. In my opinion, right, you are still keeping bullish market structure on the higher time frames and 100% could continue that move to the upside. So even if we get that drop, like, I wouldn't really be calling bear market just yet, right? But hopefully if we get down, that's what I mean. Like, if we get down here, this is an important level because if we get down here, we need that money flow on the 3-day to start cocking back to the upside. But again, people say, Frankie, if we come down to 40K, I talked about this on the Femex Twitter space today. If we get that drop down to 40K, a lot of people are saying, like, hey, is this the bear market, right? I've had people ask me on this drop down, is this the bear market? And I was like, yo, zoom out. We are not in a bear market. This is not a bear market. We are up. We are up. If you feel, and don't be ashamed of this, but if you feel like this is a bear market, or if we go down to 40K, it's a bear market, very likely you enter the market up here, and that is okay. Especially if you're new. It's okay, right? I've bought tops before in my life. It's not the end of the world, right? A lot of times you have to learn that, right? A lot of people do that. So, in my opinion, money printer go, brrr, right? They start the looser monetary policy. Price comes down. Everybody's like, oh my God, that was what was supposed to pump us. This is super scary. Mass sell-off. Oh my God, we're panicking. Just remember, back in 2020, we had one of the scariest world events present itself. And what happened? We wound up holding the macro 786 and continuing into the bull market. Think about all the people who thought it was over here. And I'll be quite honest with you, I did not buy this dip like I would have liked to, right? This was scary for everybody. This was a very real thing. Oh my God, I can't leave my house. That's a tangible thing. That's a tangible black swan, not some rumor, not some conspiracy. Whether, I'm not going to get into that. But that is a very real thing when that news drops, right? Or like that, when that happens, it's like, oh God. We held it, right? We held that weekly 786, those candle closes, just barely holding on to that 786 and getting that bigger move up. This scared a lot of people out of the market, and a lot of people sold at the absolute worst time to get rid of their bags. And think about the pain they felt on the way up, right? So just keep that in mind. Again, doesn't mean we can't go into a bear market. If we do, that would be miserable. I would hate that. And again, it's not impossible. But for me, we come down here, it's not quite over. So there you go. Anyway, with all that being said, let's go ahead and continue on. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's go ahead and check out. Shout out to Mark Dodge. What are you guys talking about? Let's see. Big dump is DCA. Yeah, shout out to Great White. That's how I'm looking at it. Especially, in a bull market like this. DCA, like maybe we see like global recession. I think we've been in a recession, but global recession, right? Like then maybe this time's completely different. I'm just saying, like most people who said like this time's different usually get wrecked. So it's a game of probabilities. I'm not gonna bet against that because it typically gets wrecked. And even if it's super super different, like I'm just we'll see what happens and we'll prepare for that situation. Luckily we can make money on the shorts on the way down, so protect our spot bags with those shorts. But let's see. Okay, let's take a quick look at Theta. Sorry, I keep going to look at Theta and then we just kind of go get sidetracked. So let's go ahead and pull this range. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So you're in your lower volume profile. Boom. Whoop. POC. Value area low. Shout out to Jordy. Let's go. Said, haha, I'm in danger meme. Shout out to Jordy. Should I pull it up? Oh, God. What? I'll pull this up later. Shout out to Jordy. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Jordy knows. Yeah, shout out to Crypto Independence at 15-year uptrend. The trend is your friend until the end. That's dang right. That's dang right. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Boom. Okay, so yeah, you're just within your volume profile. Hold that POC. You can look for let's see. We came down to the low, back to the high, back to the POC. Let's see, 4 hour. Yeah, these are your key levels, right? You lose this POC, that's your doorway to a much lower drop. But hopefully you can just make your way back up to that value area high, sitting at 142. Let's see, daily, looking very similar to Bitcoin. 12, 16-hour red dots. Yeah, see, we're getting VWAP flips and that's gross. 10-hour money VWAP coming down, 8-hour. Yeah, this looks kind of choppy, to be honest. I'll just give you the levels on this. POC 109, value area high 142. I'll also give you some of these more local levels. So yeah, this would be a key level of resistance, right? Between 142 and 136. And then let's see. This isn't really something I would typically look at. Yeah, you could pull this range. I'm just going to give the major levels. We get the bigger move up. Look for $1.30. Break that. This is really your key level between 136 and 142. And then if you get the breakdown below this POC, I would look for the drop down to the value area low at 84 cents. Other than that, money flow is still looking somewhat decent. Again, 4-hour bear divs, right? Especially on Bitcoin. Still kind of just sitting at my entry here on the short. technically started to play out here, but it's pretty much up 2%, 3%. But yeah, be careful here, right? Because that 4-hour bear div, VWAP on the 4 hours coming back up. Money flow's kind of bing bong, and it's getting pretty unclear at this point. Again, bigger break to the upside, 59 to 60K. If we get the continuation to the downside, very simply put, I will be looking at the local come on, volume profile with the move down, right? We get stuck under the 57,826 level, looking down towards 56,890 and 56,358. And with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I will see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. Shout out to Jordy. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. I appreciate you guys. It's a lot of stuff you guys will be doing right now, especially in this nasty old price action. But I'll see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time. Go check out that TradingView video if you guys have if you guys have some time tonight. Go check out that TradingView tutorial and learn how to be a master of the charts. That's all the time I got for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Space shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, I can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working, I'm up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
You guys thought I was going to leave. I would never leave you guys. But real quick, guys, I forgot who said it. Someone said take a look at the 2-week. Real quick, I will take a look at this, guys. Here's our best bet, right? I feel like I didn't give any hopium here. Not that I'm in the business of giving hopium because, trust me, if I wanted to give hopium, I would have been giving hopium up here, and I was literally not doing that because it didn't look like it was going up. But I will say this, right? If we are going to get a move up, like the one thing that we can look for is, again, 4-hour money flow, like still doesn't look horrible, right? Other than the 4-hour bear div. Like now it's kind of neutral, right? It's like kind of bearish. Money flow still kind of bullish, but maybe a little bit more volatile on the way while we wait for it to cross over back into the green. But for the big move up, if we're not going to see the 3-day money flow play out, and again, I don't even know if this is the higher likelihood or the lower likelihood situation, but if we are just going to, get the money printer to turn on and just see this thing yeet off to higher prices, and the 3 days going to get stepped on, which again, I'm really worried about that 3 day. It looks really bearish. But if we were to just get a yeet to the upside, or even just, look for the bigger retracement before the lower high and another drop down, things I'd be looking at, that 2-day green dot is now printing. 3-day green dot is now printing. 4-day green dot is looking to print, and your 5-day green dot is also printing. Now, if you guys remember a couple streams ago, the thumbnail was Bitcoin pumps when this happens or something like that. That was what we were looking at, these higher time frame green dots. So, again, kind of a neutral day for me. It's kind of 50-50 for me right now. But there you go. There's your daily dose of hopium I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up.